Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Sorry it's been so long since I posted. I am the worst at being consistent with this channel. But today's class, I woke up and I knew I needed to move my body, but I was feeling stiff and I didn't know if I needed a dynamic practice or if I needed to just like roll around on the ground. And it took me a while to figure it out, and what I actually needed was a class like this, where you're moving in sort of non-traditional ways, not like nothing crazy, but just moving to move your body. So there's a lot of fluidity in this class. And like modify as you need. If there are other things you want to do other than what I'm doing, like by all means, this is meant to just move you, like to get you up and going. So like if you're sore from another workout, like maybe you had a late Friday night, whatever you're doing that is making you feel like stiff and stagnant, and you just kind of need to like shake it all out. That's what this is. So we're going to start seated. If you have 2 blocks, awesome. If you don't, no worries. You can do this class anyway. If you do have the blocks though, take them, put them about the middle of your mat, because you might use them later. So we'll start seated. If you want to move the block in front of you out of the way just for now, that's fine. And bring your right leg out wide. Right? So already you might be being like, oh, my inner thigh, my low back. Don't worry, we're not here to like super ball out. So I just want you to start moving into the low back and the thigh. So you'll start to walk the hands out in front of you. Just slowly creepy crawl the fingers forward. And then as you exhale, you'll bring it over to that right. Again, you don't have to go super low. Pulling the chest forward, stretching into that low back, your QL. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, start to walk the hands around over to the left. Your left hand comes behind your left hip, and you'll just reach those hips up, stretch out through the front of the body. Deep breath in. And back down, back around through center. So just 3 more times like this, over towards the right. Maybe even bringing the left hand to the outside of that right leg. Another deep breath in. And exhale, back around through center. As you inhale, left hand comes behind the left hip. You lift those hips up, stretch out through the right fingertips. And back down and over, around towards that right leg. So just start to move with your own rhythm. It doesn't have to look or be in line with anything I'm doing. Just start to work into the body. Last round. Breathing deeply. Rolling through that low back. And then you'll make your way back through center in your own way. And we'll switch sides. So, right leg comes in, left leg out. And you'll start first by just creepy crawling those fingertips forward. So again, it doesn't have to be a super deep fold. And then slowly over towards that left leg. Maybe the right fingertips reach to the outside of the leg. And back through center. On your inhale, that right hand comes behind the right hip and you roll forward. Lift the hips up. Stretch through those left fingertips. And again, back down. Creepy crawl your way through center. And I'm just going to be quiet and let you move through these. On this side, you kind of know what you're doing. And if you don't, just keep moving in a way that feels good to you. And I'm coming to my final round. That doesn't mean you have to be. You can be anywhere you need to be. keep on moving. And whenever you're ready, we'll all meet back at center. Yeah. Come around onto hands and knees. And then from here, you're going to keep the toes tucked, but just sit back to a child's pose and keep your knees relatively close together. I know sometimes it's nice to get like super crazy and bring the knees wide, but we actually want to get a little bit more into the low back, and that's easier when the knees are together. So toes tucked, knees together. Fold over those legs. And then when you inhale, you'll come forward to a tabletop, really round through the spine here. And then tuck the toes, you'll lift the knees to a hover first. Hips go back towards the heels, and then straighten the legs, right? Inhale, come forward towards a plank. You're going to drop the knees down, and then curl those toes in. So if this doesn't feel good to your low back, don't do it. You can keep the legs down, you're still stretching. But if you need a little bit more, toes come in. And then you'll release, tuck the toes, sit back to that child's pose. So again, just 3 more like that with me or on your own, rounding through the back, coming forward onto hands and knees. Tucking the toes, knees lift to a hover, hips go back first, and then we straighten the legs. Inhaling forward to a plank, but we're just moving through it. Knees drop, hips drop, chest forward, really pull those shoulder blades away, and then option to pull those toes in. All right, legs down, tuck the toes, and sit back, child's pose. Yeah, 2 more times, round forward, ripple back. Inhale forward, lower the hips, chest forward, shoulders back, Care Bear stare, maybe heels come in, and back to your child's pose. Last time, round forward, ripple back, coming forward, lower the knees, pull the heels in, chest forward, ripple back through your child's pose, and then downward facing dog. And so from here, kind of like you're really antsy and you need to go to the toilet, you're just going to bend one knee over towards the other. So the right knee bends across the body like you're squeezing in, and then the other one, right? So it's kind of like ants in my pants, I've really got to go to the toilet kind of dance, right? So just super into the hips here. A couple more on either side. Just keeping that movement going. And then back to center. Come into your downward facing dog. Slowly walk forward to your hands, or if you've decided like, hey, I do need a little bit more dynamic movement, you can come onto the toes, look forward, and then lightly jump. And then you'll inhale, flat back, lift up. Exhale, fold on down. And take 2 deep breaths here, just let it hang. Inhale, press into the feet, come all the way to stand. Reach those fingertips up, and maybe even come up onto the toes. And then release the heels down, fold back down over the legs. Find that flat back again, lift up halfway. And then from here, step that right foot to the back of the mat. Lower the right knee down. So this is where your blocks may come in handy. You'll bring that left hand around to the block or to your left hip. And you're going to reach that right arm up and over to the left, right? So just so that you can see, it would look something like this or this, and reach, right? And then breathe into that right side of the body. And sweep back around. Shift the weight into the left foot. Lift the right knee, shift forward, right leg lifts, and then bend that right knee, open that right hip up. Yeah. So if you're good here, you can start to walk the hands around to the left, really getting into that right side body. Another deep breath in. Lift that knee. And foot down, back to center fold. Lift halfway. Left foot steps back. Left knee down. Right hand comes either to the right hip or to a block. Reach the left arm up and over and breathe. And back around. Shift the weight into the left foot. Left knee lifts. Weight's in the right foot. Lift the left leg up. Bend the knee. Open the hip up. And if you're good here, walk the hands around to the right. One more deep breath in. Back around to center, release, and fold. So just picking up the pace a little bit. We'll do it 2 more on each side. Lift halfway, right foot steps back. Left hand around over to the left, right arm reaches across the body. And then hands back down, adding on, we'll pull the hips back. And then shift forward into the left foot, send that right leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip, kick your plant. And right foot down to meet the left, fold over the body. Lift up halfway. Left leg steps back. Left knee down. Right hand around to the right side. Reach and stretch. And hands frame the foot. Hips back and fold. Look forward. Shift the weight into the right foot. Left leg lifts. Bend the knee. And back down and fold. Last round. Lift up halfway as you inhale. Right leg back. Right knee down, left hand over to the left, reach. And back around, pull the hips back. Bend into that left knee. This time we're going to reach that right knee up. Spin down the heel of that right foot. So, you can bring the left forearm to the knee, coming into just this modified side angle. You can bring the left hand down or onto a block. Or, if these side bends have felt really good, you're going to bring that left hand by the left hip behind you and then reach back. So it looks crazy and it's a super weird way to do this pose, but it feels oh so good in my body. If it doesn't feel good in your body, don't do it. Do what feels good, okay? Another breath in. Spiral that right hand around to the inside of the left foot. Toes of the right foot shift forward. Right leg lifts, bend the knee, open the hip up. Right foot meets the left, fold forward. Other side, inhale, lift halfway. Left leg steps back, left knee down. Right hand over to the right, left arm reaches up. And back around. Hands frame that right foot, hip shift back. Shift back into that right foot. Tuck the toes of the left foot, lift the left knee. Warrior 2 feet. Forearm to the knee, hand to the inside of the foot, or right hand behind you by that right hip, and you'll reach up and back. Another deep breath in. And circle back around. Shift into the right foot. Left leg lifts, bend the knee, open up the hip. Feet come to meet at the top of the mat and fold. Inhale, flat back, lift up halfway. And then bend the knees. Come all the way down to your knees. So you may have to hop back just a little bit. So we're almost done. Short, super, just flippy, dancy class to get you moving. But we're going to do a quick little dancing camel, which is not something I made up. It's a real thing, I promise. But it's a great way to get some back bending in, but it's also really good for stretching through the hip flexors and getting some movement in the low back. So you can do this with your toes tucked. For me, it feels a little better on my feet. But whatever feels good to you. Okay. So this is just supposed to feel good, and I really want you to get dramatic with it, like really just like close your eyes and get weird and crazy, because this is all just supposed to feel good, right? You're not being graded, not today. So right hand to the right foot, your left arm reaches up, and as it does, you're going to lift the hips, press the hips forward, and then the left arm sweeps around the body, around towards that left heel. Then the right arm extends up as you lift the hips, right? So right arm across the body towards the right foot. Stretch, press, and reach. And again, sweep across. So I don't know, put on some like really lovely music and just start to move with it, yeah? It doesn't have to look like anything, but it should feel like everything. And do about 2 more on each side. Make sure you're breathing. And come back to center whenever you're ready. Knees together. You can sit on the feet here. If that's not comfortable and you have a block or a pillow, you can put the block down and sit there. Yeah. But just come to seated for a second. And start to slow the breath down. Just kind of notice how you took in the practice. So did you enjoy the movement? Or are you like, hey, is it time for us to lay on our backs and be still now? Because sometimes it is. Sometimes you just need that stillness. So check in with like which one your body is seeking the most. And if you're ready for the stillness, you're in luck, because here it comes. So go ahead and make your way down around onto your back. And just hug the knees into the chest. And then start to press the knees back into the hands, right? Keep the core engaged here though. So like bring a small tuck to the tailbone. And then you're just gonna circle the knees around, right? So not everybody has long monkey arms like me. So if you don't, you could always put a strap around your legs so that you can actually reach and get this really good movement here. So just rolling around. Maybe you're massaging the outsides of the hips. Maybe for you, it's more of a like low back, get in there. And then if it feels good, just extend the legs up, grab wherever you can, and pull your head in towards your legs, just stretching. Pedal out the feet, wiggle around the ankles, just, hello, I love you. And release whatever your favorite spinal twist is. So knees together, you can come into eagle legs. For me, it's one knee in, one leg out. That's what my back likes. So whatever yours is, you'll bring the arms out in line with the shoulder and twist over to the left. And breathe into it. So imagine that I'm there and I'm holding onto your right shoulder, pressing it towards the ground, and then pressing that right hip down towards the bottom of the mat. Feel that lengthening through the spine and take a really deep breath into that. And then exhale, see if you can relax a little bit. Maybe you get a little crack if you're lucky. And slowly come back to center. Bend the left knee as you do. You can cross the right ankle over the left knee, or just bring the right foot out wide. The knees are going to fall over to the right. And then you'll breathe here. And back to center. If you're following me, extend the right leg out, hug the left knee in. If you have a different twist, do a different twist. Rocking over to the right, left shoulder stays grounded on the floor as that left hip pushes down towards the bottom of the mat. And again, take a deep breath into that space, fill the lungs up. And exhale, release. And slowly come back to center. So again, you can cross that left knee over the right ankle or just bring the feet out wide. You're dropping the legs over to the left. And slowly come back to center. Hug both knees into your chest. Bring the hands behind the knees and just rock forward and backwards. It's fun. It feels good. Give like yourself a little spinal massage. And then when you're ready, you'll rock all the way up to seated. And it might feel good just to give one last little shake. Reach the arms up. Big stretch. And then bring the hands down to the knees. Thank you so much for taking 20 minutes to stretch and move your body with me. I will try to post another video really soon. No promises, the world's a weird place right now. But I hope you enjoyed this class. Namaste.